What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Field Review Podcast Show. Yes, I am with a subscriber today because we're going to be talking some Detroit Lions football. He reached out and said he want to talk some sports, and I said, let's do this. Let's get this thing done. So if you are in the building, please get yourself comfortable so enjoy the show. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Smitty. Smitty, what up, though?
What's good, guys? What's cracking with you?
Man, same stuff, different day, but we here. We are here and are excited to talk some Lions football, man. Try to hopefully do it objectively. That's the key word. Can we do it objectively? I believe that we can. All right. Right out the gate, man. Let me see who up in the building. I know it's Sunday. A lot of people doing different things. I see Angelo in the building. May not get as many people in here today. It's getting warm outside, and I expect people to try to get out their house. It's been this way for the winter. But anyway, let's go ahead and do this thing, man. Starting off with the first question, because this is something that has constantly come up. I know it's one that you pose. What do you think are the Lions' top 3 draft needs?
I'll make this short and sweet. I usually don't know what their draft picks are until after free agency, because I know they had the holes to fill. But I'm gonna say wide receiver, defensive end, linebacker, not specifically in that order.
Why wide receiver? Why defensive end? Why linebacker? Why are those the top 3 needs for you?
Well, the obvious to say is the linebackers were completely a mess. And plus, you got a couple of contracts on there that's not really good for anybody. Of course, I believe 2 are going to stay, like Davis and JRM. But the other ones are just like slow, methodical, and just it was a bad system to run in. And for wide receivers, we really just got 2 receivers on the book. And the question of signing Kenny Golladay to a franchise tag really doesn't elevate me some. So we're going to need some firepower for that. And what was the last one that I said?
You said linebacker.
I said linebacker.
DN and wide receiver were the top 3 needs.
DN, definitely, because Romeo is gone. And Romeo, just like Golladay, he's definitely – we don't know which one is going to get the tag or not. So I would definitely say that. And plus, we don't know what defense we running for next season.
So let me give you a little pushback, play a little devil's advocate really quick. But Malik Mills says, what up, Luke? I haven't tuned in for a while. Hey, but you're here now. That's all that matters. I hope the board falls like it did on the herd with Colin Cohart. Wilson falls to the Lions. Okay. All right, listen, we got a lot to cover. Let me give you a little pushback. Now, first of all, let's say I agree with you that we need wide receiver, defensive end, and we need linebacker. My question is if you're stuck there at 7, right, are you taking one of those 3 positions?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. Which one of those 3 positions are you taking if you're stuck at 7, and why?
We in the top 10. Number 7, that's pretty good. I would definitely wide receiver is definitely good. Jamar Chase is probably off the board. So that leaves us with the receivers from, I want to say, Alabama. Waddle, is that his name?
Yep, you got Waddles out of Alabama, the wide receiver.
Devonta Smith, Heisman winner. I think Heisman winners are overrated anyway. And what's the receiver from Purdue?
Purdue. Let me think. I'm trying to think who you're talking about. It's not ringing a bell. God, his damn number. I know who you're talking about, but you're hell bent on getting a receiver if you're stuck at 7. That's my understanding, basically, right?
We have a.
All right, I'm gonna push back.
Right,
because to me, receiver is not that big of a deal. Not with this draft. If this was any other draft where it wasn't a receiver heavy latent draft, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and get your receiver early, get it out the way. But I'm forcing myself to stick to the standard that if I'm stuck at 7, receiver is not my target. Now, do I think the Lions will take a receiver? Yes. Is it my number one target? No. Do I have to put them in any kind of order? No. But for me, if I'm stuck at 7, I am taking a offensive lineman, particularly an offensive tackle.
Oh, you're thinking of Penny Sewell from Oregon?
It don't even have to be him. I need to build the lineup. The problem is this. The first thing you got to look at is your team. There's a lot of unknowns when it comes to the defense, and there aren't too many defensive players, at least from my viewpoint, who deserve to be taken in the top 10. I just wouldn't take none. It's just me. Could be wrong. Could come back and look at this at a different time and say I'm absolutely crazy. However, with this draft, there's enough receivers in this draft that you really ain't gonna be able to miss. It's not hard. It's enough in there. Let's go over to the linebacker position, because a lot of people have set out. A lot of people are going to slide in this draft, thus setting you up to get a lot of those prospects in terms of linebacker. Nobody that I have heard yet has had us taking linebacker in the top 7. I haven't seen that one. DN. I'm not worried about the DN because we already have that. We got a Trey Flowers. We got a Austin Bryant. We got a Julian Okor. We're going to probably bring back, more than likely, Romeo Okor. So my question becomes, what do I then go towards next? It's still that offensive lineman. What trumps that? What comes in and gives me the most help now? Offensive lineman. What helps this team immediately this year? Offensive lineman. How? Because you have a guy in DeAndre Swift who's now going to be turned into the main focal point of this team versus Jared Goff. Now, why am I not considering quarterback at 7? You have 2 firsts going into next year's draft. And the amount of holes you have right now, no point in taking a quarterback when you don't have a team ready for the quarterback to take over. It'll be like giving your kid a Lamborghini and telling him don't go fast. The logic doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I'm saying that for me, the receiver, in terms of getting on weapons, that's not hard. It's not. And for me, it wouldn't be. So my top 3 needs, and I'm just looking at it if I'm stuck at 7. If I'm stuck at 7, it's offensive lineman. If I'm stuck at 7, I know this is going, people are like, what do you mean? Oh, I can't believe you do. It's offensive lineman, best offensive weapon. So that means that could be a running back. If you deem the best offensive weapon to be a receiver, cool. If you think Kyle Pitts is the best offensive weapon, cool. I don't care. Then you can go best offensive weapon. Past that. The next thing that I'm doing at 7 as terms of need, and it's the only thing I'm looking at, is I'm trying to figure out, like, who in the hell or how in the hell I can find a way to bring in somebody that can help me at safety. So safety, offensive lineman, and weapon. Now, I know in the mix says you're reaching, but it's not a reach. It's about getting the pick right. Like, period. You got to get the pick right. I don't care about this whole idea of, no, this is a position thing. It don't matter. When you talk to the Oakland Raiders and they took Jamarcus Russell, they thought they had the right pick. It did not work out for them. Right? So, it don't make sense for me in that point. So I get what you're saying about the 3 spots that you want to target in terms of wide receiver. I think the Lions will target a wide receiver. I think if Smith or if Chase is there, they'll take one of them 2. Personally, if it's me, the only receiver I'm taking at 7 is Jamar Chase. That's it. If it ain't Jamar Chase, I ain't taking no receiver there.
You said you would be open. You would be open to taking an OL at 7. Do you have anybody in mind?
That's a few people. I mean, you got a few people. Like, let's say, for example, if it is Sewell, or let's say if it's the Northwestern kid or the kid from USC, you got options. My thing is this: you got 3 good linemen. Okay, you got 3 good linemen, and if you can turn around and add another lineman to the mix, that's going to be high quality, high value. You're not only giving your new quarterback a chance, you're giving your run game a chance. And that to me is how I see it. Now, D. Williams disagrees with the safety at 7. I feel you. I remember one year the Oakland Raiders we had a first round pick and they spent it on Janikowski, the punter. Or was it the kicker?
Kicker, Sebastian Janikowski.
Yep, Sebastian Janikowski. And everybody went nuts. Oh, they lost their mind. They spent the first round pick on a kicker. And all he did was prove them to be right. But
Sebastian Janikowski is on his way to becoming a first round Hall of Famer, no doubt.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's about getting the pick right. I don't care about the other stuff. Get the pick right. Like, if I were to tell you that you got Aaron Donald in the 6th round, you know, most fans would be ecstatic that they were able to get such a great talent in a later round. You know, that's what makes Tom Brady's story so special. If Tom Brady had been a first overall pick, Tom Brady would be out the league by now. Right? It's a difference. He went to a better situation. For me, I'm looking at getting the pick right. So that's why I gave you a little pushback on it, because I mean, we got to be able to see the direction. Like you said, we don't know enough about this defense that we're going to run to be saying linebacker, because now you're going to have to get a linebacker who can not only play in a 3-4, but can play in a 4-3, because we don't know where we're running.
And there's also the notion that defense might actually pick some speed rushers. So I'm very happy about that.
I'm just saying. So it's one of the things that you got to look at and you got to kind of put into a little bit of context. If I'm looking at it right now, I have no clue what my defense is going to be. I'm not adding a DN because I think we got talent already that can be transitioned into a DN position. But I also look at it and I say a safety, I don't care if you're a 3-4, 4-3, those translate really well into the league. I'm okay with that. If you go through and you look at linebacker, the linebacker has to be in the right fit. If you don't believe me, just go back and look at Kyle Van Noy. We can talk about it later. Okay.
I was reviewing that you wanted Okuda at safety. Wouldn't that leave a hole at a cornerback for us?
It don't matter. I mean, it don't matter if we leave a hole at cornerback. We already got a hole at cornerback. And the reason I say that is because chances is there's some cornerbacks on this team who gonna be cut and let go anyway, because we need the cap space. So if you're moving him and you're going to go out and get a veteran presence at cornerback, cool. We still going to have Amani Oruwariye. He's still here under contract, right? That's a good thing. Then once you get past Amani Oruwariye, you're going to still turn around and look into free agency. Who can you add that can be dirt cheap that can come in and still help? But a lot of that secondary play can get remedied if you boost up the front 7 of the defense. Get the front 7 right. Get them guys going after people. If you look at the cornerbacks of the Buccaneers, ain't nobody talking about the Buccaneers cornerbacks is killing them, but they got that front 7 together and they got safety play. I don't know if people weren't paying attention, but Antoine Winfield was balling for the Bucs, and the front 7 did their part. The cornerbacks were rarely left on the island, and they performed. So it's just one of the things I look at. In the mix as how much Super Bowls did Janikowski win? Well, kickers don't win Super Bowls, just like quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls, just like running backs don't win Super Bowls. Super Bowls are won by teams.
Football's the ultimate team game.
You adjusting your mic? What's going on with your mic? I hear a lot of ruffling. I want to make sure we know, because I know people have earbuds in.
No, this is actually a mic. I'm good. It's just my voice.
All right. So let's get to the next question, though, because like I said, let's get to the next question. What I say, I want to make sure that I hit on some things. Okay. So first thing first, let me look at some of the comments really quick. If Pitts is the best weapon in the draft, the old narrative of you can't take this or that position is stupid. It is. It's 100% stupid, because at that point, you're talking about getting the best weapon. Like, I don't like if you're telling me that, oh, you can't take a receiver because we took a receiver the last 2 years, then that's dumb. Like, I don't subscribe to that. So I'm just saying you have to be able to put things in context.
Actually, there would be a little truth there. Early in the Matt Miller days, we spent so many first round picks on receivers. Ooh.
Sean Parker. So would you take Pitts over Smith? I would. I 100% will take Pitts over Smith. I think Smith, to me, is a talent. Don't get me wrong. Pitts is different. And the reason Pitts is different is because I can line him out wide and still get production. But just go through and look at the Rob Gronkowski's, the Antonio Gates, and look at some of the top tight ends in the history of the NFL who had that skill set to go outside and inside. Man, you can do so many things different, and so that's how I look about it.
We already know about his ability to be a receiving weapon for the next level. But on my mind is, can he block? I mean, he is a tight end.
Now that part of it is suspect. But again, you got to understand, it's the key word I used was best offensive weapon. see, the best offensive weapon ain't gonna have all the skill sets. Like, for example, if you paid attention to last year, they wasn't leaving in Swift too many times to block for the quarterback. They were bringing in Kerryon because Kerryon was a better blocker. But that was a tail. And the problem is most of these players come out of these college systems not being asked to do those things. So you don't get the chance to see them do the blocking and stuff. That's why TJ Hockenson was so special. He was asked to be a blocker. He was asked to be a receiver. He was asked to do all these different things. And to me, that stands out. It's like your mic is ruffling really hard. I don't know, like if you got like a headset on or you moving or what's going on, but I can hear every little sound.
Is this better? I had my mic on open space.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So it says, what will be a solid move in the draft, Luke? A solid move. Getting the pick right. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that, Smitty? Getting the pick right is the most important part.
Yeah, to me, it's like I'd rather get one pick right than have a bunch of picks like go horribly wrong.
And think about it. Let's say for example, right? Let's say for example, if we messed around and we went out and we got, say, I don't know. Let's say we went out and we got Trevor Lawrence, right? Stay with me, y'all. Just devil's advocate here. Let's say somehow, some way, Trevor Lawrence just happens to fall to the Lions at 7. Or we trade up and we get Trevor Lawrence. And we get Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence is a bust. The List fan base will never forgive the Lions for that. You traded up for this bum. You could have just stayed at 7 if he wasn't going to be there.
And the funny part is, there are still people who are going to be pushing for. There are still people pushing for him for this guy.
And to me, it's one of the things where you have to ask that question of what gives you the best chance. Now, Marcus Landis says, is Pitts a better offensive weapon than Najee Harris? Yes. Yes, you're going to be able to do more with Pitts than you will with Najee Harris. 100%. Yes. Najee, like Pitts is a nightmare. He's a matchup nightmare.
In my mind, Najee Harris is like a power runner, power back, nothing else.
I mean, like I said, you're going to get more options out of that tight end. Just saying, or the receiver, however you view him. I mean, let's look at Claypool. Hell, they were putting him at tight end, wide receiver, and he caused havoc. You got to find a way to create that mismatch and to create that disconnect. Hold on one second. Yep. Look, they go the kids calling for me right there. See that? So I'm just saying, it's just one of the things you got to look at. Now let's see. Hold on one second. Son, close the door. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Let's go down and get to this next question, because this is what I want to talk to you about, Samita, because this is one of the ones that has been coming up a lot on my radar. What should fans really expect from Jared Goff? Like, in all honesty, what should be a realistic expectation for Jared Goff?
Him coming from a Ram system that's basically had everything from receivers to line to the running backs, and then you come in here.
Okay.
He's going to have some struggles. He is definitely going to have some struggles. And he's definitely going to lean on, my prediction, he's definitely going to lean on Swift a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, but in terms of a realistic expectation, I mean, should they expect him to be just a bridge quarterback? Should they expect him to be better than Stafford? Should they expect him to be worse than Stafford? What is a realistic expectation? Like, if you were talking to another Lions fan and they were saying, man, what should I really expect, from this guy? What would you say?
Expect him to lose a couple of games.
Okay. All right. I think the realistic expectation for Jared Goff should be for him to simply manage the game. That's it. For him to simply work within a system that has everything around him. In other words, his expectation doesn't change from any other quarterback that would have been on this team. I'm not going to put any other higher expectations on Jared Goff than I would have put on any quarterback doing this. You have to have the pieces around them for me to start to be critical of the quarterback, because everything the quarterback does is contingent upon somebody else. People say that's not true, but it is. The ball has to be snapped to him from a center. He has to then turn around and drop back some steps while he got 5 guys or 6, depending on what the scheme is, to block for him. Then he got to find a guy to throw the ball to that he now has to trust need to catch the ball. It's too much that's contingent upon him. So you got to set him up to be successful. One of the reasons that a lot of these quarterbacks are getting a bad rap and people are willing to move on from them is because most of those people are not living up to the bill, and it's talent around them. And that's where the problem comes in at. When you got talent around you and you're not performing, you're going to have some issues. But the only expectations he should have is to be a game manager. Don't F it up. Manage the damn game. Don't kill us. Don't hurt us. Any expectation outside of that, in my opinion, is just too much. And it don't make sense. Because we can save a lot of trouble by not putting this hefty expectation on him. He's not supposed to go out there and throw the ball 45 times. Stafford wasn't supposed to throw the ball 45 times.
And he's a goddamn gunslinger, Stafford is.
I mean, it's a disaster story when you got your quarterback throwing it that many times. I need for you to just manage the game. I don't need you to do nothing else. Just manage the game. If he hand the ball off 30 times, awesome. Y'all want to know how Ryan Tannehill had a resurgence? He wasn't asked to win the game. He was asked not to hurt him. This is just the reality of it. Y'all want to know how Tom Brady won so many Super Bowls? He wasn't asked to win them. Just don't hurt us. That's the reality of it. And I think that's a fair expectation. So, Smitty, let me get to the next question. How should the Lions attack this free agency this offseason? How should they do that?
Bro, I hate to say this, until we get some solid cuts in and get some money through the cap, we're not in a position to do anything.
So what do you mean? You mean you don't feel like there's no approach that we can have, or at least in a way that we can attack the free agency?
I'm saying new staff, new personnel, and we still don't know what route Holmes is going in. So we're running on blind trust here.
I put it like this. I don't think it's necessarily blind trust. I think there's a way and an approach that they should have when attacking this free agency. And the reason I say that is because this approach allows for so many other things to be set up. We always talk about the bridge quarterback. Well, we need to get some bridge players who can come in on cheap contracts that are cheap contracts with high risk. So in other words, for example, people who are into the stock market, they always say buy low, sell high, right? So if I can go out and get a guy on a short-term deal who needs to come in and prove himself, I'll go out and sign those guys to fill those slots versus me trying to find all my answers in one free agency. Or I said, and the biggest thing I would do is I would do it to where I'm tailoring, right? I would do it to where I'm tailoring it so that way that my team can succeed now. So how would I attack this free agency? I'm looking for players who can come in and fill out the spots right now on low contracts that I can succeed with right now. Because all I'm trying to do is build a foundation that sends a message to the rest of the league that we are not the same old Lions. We are not about losing around here. We want to win. And if you come here with any other expectation less than we're going to win, get the hell out. They need to go in and attack it from there. If the positions that are presented to you that are low cost and best options for you happen to be D linemen, then you go out and you sign cheap D linemen. Give them a 1 or 2 year deal and let them sit there and chill, right? If the cheapest position for you to fill those slots happen to be wide receiver, go out and get you some receivers, because a receiving core is what makes a team successful. Not the best receiver. Andre Johnson played on the Texans. I never heard one person blame him for all the losing, right? You go down the list. Julio Jones on the Falcons, and he had some great years, but he also had better years when he had help on the other side. So to me, you got to start looking at the free agency like a stock market. Buy low, sell high. Jarrell Casey, you had a couple of injuries. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't believe they cut you. After they traded for you, dog. You believe that? Yeah, man. I can't believe they cut me like that. I know. So they didn't believe in you, but we do. Well, you do believe me? Yeah, but I want to give you one. I want to give you a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal, yeah, with a few little incentives. See, I want to make sure that not only do you know that we believe in you, but I want you to earn this money. And so now you're generating people who are going to come here saying, I got to prove it. See, people go to New England because they want a Super Bowl, right? Some people go to teams of good coaching, right? But how you attack this free agency will 100% dictate your foundation for your team with this new coaching staff, this new front office for years to come. Go in, buy low, sell high. That's how I would attack it.
Sorry, most of the, I believe, free agencies, I just looked up on SportsStack, what that site is. Not too many. I say 2-3 players from each list are kind of good and are willing to go cheap. At least 2 or 3.
Keep in mind that when you go there, that's all on speculation. So when you go there, look at who is a free agent. That's the first thing. And then they're going to say what their market value could be. And you got to try to find the truth in between that, because I don't know about y'all, but whenever I buy a car, the sticker may say $10,000. I'm not paying that for it. I'm going to always pay less. Plus, let's say, for example, they are running a 4.3, right? Just walk with me. Let's say they're running a 4.3 and they're like, yo, we need a cheap linebacker. You telling me that the market value that Sports Track got on there for Malik Jefferson is really going to cost that? No. I can go out and get a Malik Jefferson for dirt cheap. I can go out and get what's his name? Walker from the Colts, Walker Jr. You think I'm going to pay a lot of money for him? No. If I'm looking at linebackers, if I'm looking at safeties turn possibly linebackers, Neil New, whatever his name is from the Falcons, is he going to cost me over the above market? Probably not. You got to be able to see it from a different perspective. Okay? You got to be able to do it from a different. You got to be able to go in and buy them cheap. You got to keep in mind, you're trying to win now, and there's pieces that you can work around and work with. Most teams are never 100% complete. That's where coaching comes in. So, even if you were to look at those guys on Sports Track, there's guys on there that I'm pretty sure you can get dirt cheap that will not cost you a lot of money or set you back. Just saying. Parsons top 5. We shit out of luck. Why is he top 5? Let's be honest. Let's first let me just clear this up. Why would he be top 5 when he's going through legal issues right now? He sat out the season. Now you don't set out a full season and you're going through legal issues. Why are you now a top 5 talent? I'm just saying. I think this is the year that they're going to find out those people who sat out made a mistake. Those college kids, it's going to hurt their stock. You better have some hellified tape the last 2 years, but it's going to hurt your stock. John Doe says we are in cap trouble. Free agency is going to be a very lackluster year. We ain't what you think we have ain't as bad as you think it is. And the reason I say that is because you got contracts who are expiring off the contract off of the cap, and then on top of that, you got people that you can still cut that gives you like you can cut you can cut Chase Daniels and get like almost $3 million back. Boom, right there.
Please cut Chase Daniels.
Danny Shelton gone that's $4 million right there. Right? You can cut Coleman. I believe that's another $3.5-4 million if I'm not mistaken. I don't even have the numbers in front of me. You have options. You know, he says pass because of legal. You sound like Quin. Nah, bro. I'm not saying that. I'm asking you, why would he now be a top 5 pick? If you look at the top 5 picks, none of them are interested in a linebacker. That's another point to go to it. If he's a top 5 pick, you got to tell me which one of them teams is thinking he a top 5 pick, and then which one of them teams is thinking that he's such a top 5 pick, they got to trade up to get him. You're not going to find that. If you go through right now and you look at these teams, you are not going to tell me that there are the first 5 teams is looking at Parsons like, oh, he bought that life. Nobody doing that, bro. You know I'm not wrong on that. You think Jacksonville's looking at Parsons like, oh, Parsons or Lawrence? I don't know. You think the Jacks looking at it like Parsons or Sewell? I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like these teams, you think Miami, Atlanta, or you think the Bengals? Here go your top 5 teams: Jacksonville, Jets, Dolphins, Falcons, Bengals. You show me who thinking about Parsons. Who? Atlanta. Okay. You think Atlanta looking at Parsons? Why?
No.
Why? No. Why? I'm serious. Why? You think Atlanta is looking at? I think Atlanta is more apt to take an offensive lineman than they are to take Parsons, or they're going to be more apt to take a guy like Xavier Collins over Parsons, or they'll be more apt to take a quarterback so they can get rid of Matt Ryan.
There are like 2 guys over 2 guys I would take over Parsons in the linebacker area.
I can name a few people that will go before Parsons. Finish their defensive rebuild, bro. Alex, stay with me, bro. They are not okay. The Falcons understand that with this draft, because of the number of people who sat out and the number of underclassmen who sat out and are going to enter this draft, that they have options. They are not panicked or worried about no damn Micah Parsons. But if they are, I'll be the first to come back and say I was wrong and you was right. So I don't see it. Smitty, let's keep the show moving along, Smitty. Obviously, they haven't done nothing yet, but this is a hypothetical question, or more so just a way of trying to project. How will you? I'm just talking about you. How will you judge the Lions' new head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator this season?
Well, I know Anthony Lynn back as an offensive mind. As an offensive mind, he'll do pretty well, so I'm not worried about that part. His time management issue is still a thing with me, but I believe most of the subordinates, including the HC, can get that fixed. I am a little worried about our DC, considering this is his first time in this position. So I'm expecting slow progress here.
I guess the way, maybe I should have worded that question a little bit different, but let me tell you, this is how I will judge our new head coach. This is how I will judge our offensive coordinator, and this is how I will judge our defensive coordinator this season, starting with the head coach. I need to see in-game management. In-game management is number 1. How are you moving parts based on the situation of the play? Secondly, halftime adjustments. If you come out hot, I expect to see the foot still be on the gas and the score ran up. Matter of fact, the Lions should not ever just mail it in. Just score every chance you get. If they call it Bush League, tell them to kiss your Bush League butt with them 76 points you just dropped on that team, and tell them to go ask them why they couldn't stop it. Okay, that's what I expect to see from the head coach in terms of the offense.
And that's one of the main reasons why we lost a bunch of these games, man. We couldn't hold on to a lead, and we just been contempt and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they went straight to prevent defense.
I don't want to see prevent defense ever again.
But what I'm doing is I'm telling you that for me, I'm judging those small things that matter, right? I want to see you get at players when they're making mistakes, like he did in that one video when he's on the Dolphins. Get them together. I want to see, when the offensive coordinator, I want to see a balanced attack, but I want to see a balanced attack that is dictated by the game. So a lot of times people don't realize what that means. And for me, what that means is this. If you're able to run the ball, damn it, then run the ball. Don't decide that, well, we ran too many times. Let me go ahead and throw it here. Bump that. Keep running. Run it again. Run it harder. Okay? But the goal is let's say you're passing the ball and they can't stop certain passing plays. Then you keep passing it. But what I don't want to see is what I've seen for the last 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What year did Barry retire? What was that, 97?
I know you saw
90, somewhere in that area. I don't want to see what's been happening for the last 20-some hundred years where we just passing the ball to be passing it. And we were able to run it. Like, this is how I look at it. So to me, off rip, I'm telling you, I'm going to be looking at how he balances his attack. I'm going to be looking at how creative he is with his play calling. Anthony Lynn has got to show me that when he's calling his plays, they are inspired. They're not predictable.
You're going to be calling for Swift a lot during this next season.
If Swift is what is working within the confines of the game, I don't care. But don't force feed Swift because you like running it and we want to force feed him. No, there should be some accountability and adjustments there, and some very inspired play calling. I remember watching games when the Eagles won their Super Bowl, and I was like, man, who dialed that play up? Who dialed that? Before the Philly special even became a thing, it was play that they were calling. I'm like, damn, who came up with that? Right? I go and look at the Buccaneers. They won the Super Bowl, right? There were certain games where I was like, damn, look at that play calling. Look at that play calling. Oh, that's a brilliant play call right there. Right? I want to see that. I want to see those same types of things. 98. Yeah, it's been so since from 98 until now, we have been a 100% pass team. Damn shame. I'll even argue 98 was a year we passed the ball too damn much too, but whatever. From 98 to 2021, listen to that. 1998 to 2021. We've been a pass first team. But we're not playing within the confines of our game. And that's what I want to see. How am I going to judge the defensive coordinator? This is an easy one. Are you putting your players in a position to make a play? That's all I want to know. Aaron Glenn, are you putting them in a position to make a play? Are you playing to their strengths? Has your defense constantly adapted to your talent? I'm going to judge you on that. And when I don't see those things happening, when I don't see those things playing out, I will judge you. It's the reason why I said fire Matt Patricia after that first year. Because in that first season, I had saw everything I needed to see to know that it was not going to work. I just knew it. It was not going to happen. So this is how I look at it. So that's why when I asked you that question about how are you going to judge them, what are you looking for? What are you expecting them to do? What are you asking them to be? That's how I'm looking at it. So let's jump to the next question. Smitty, how should the Lions be rebuilding, if that's what you consider this to be, retooling, if that's what you consider this to be, or restructuring this team? In other words, what should this team be built as? Like, what do you want this team identity to be?
I want them to be what they've been years before Patricia and Jim Caldwell. A defensive juggernaut that's not afraid to punch anybody in the mouth, and an offense that's not afraid to put the scores on anybody. I want 50. I want the offense to put 50 on their head each and every game. And I want the defense to suffocate. And I want the defense to suffocate so many teams that they regret ever having to schedule with us. That's the kind of team that I want.
See, for me, I think we are in a retooling. Okay, I think we are in. I'm gonna say more so of a renovation, and I'm gonna tell you why. I know everybody wants to argue with me, so I decided to go and actually look at the actual definition of rebuild, retooling, and renovation. Rebuild: building something again after it has been damaged or destroyed. Building something again after it has been damaged or destroyed. Renovation: restoring something old, especially a building, to a good state of repair. And I go through and I ask, are we damaged? Yes. Did we destroy it? No. No, I don't, because to destroy it would mean that, like, for example, when we went 0-16, it was nobody on that defense I was willing to keep. I'm not even being funny. It was not one player on that 0-16 defense that I was willing to keep.
Who was that?
No, I said it wasn't one. I didn't have one. I wanted that whole defense gone. Destroy that whole defense. I wanted the defense destroyed. I wanted the offense destroyed. I wanted you to take it and burn it up and destroy the whole entire thing. We're not doing that with this team. If we did a rebuild after 2008, this can't be a rebuild. See, that was a rebuild. None of those players are even in the league. None of those are in the league. I want that. I want to restore us to where we were at, because we were on track in 1990 and 1991. We were on track. We just missed the mark. Okay, so I'm trying to get us back to being restored. But here's what I'm expecting this team to be built as: a team that runs the ball first and plays defense all the time. Run the ball first. Play defense all the time. I want a team that is literally going to be able to simply do one small simpleton thing, and that is perform under pressure. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about where the players going to be at in terms of their mindset when you say we got to run the ball to pick up this one. How bad they want it. Y'all wait till I get to the Xavier Collins breakdown. There's some things in there y'all gonna be like, oh, that I'm like, hey, I'm concerned. When that 2018 Calvin Johnson was on there, and people gonna say you didn't want Calvin Johnson. No, I said we should have traded him in Cap Suit in Stafford. So I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. When I say I believe receivers come a dime a dozen, I am not joking, people. I'm being honest with you. I'm not joking. I want what I want, and it's clear. If you were wondering who were the defensive players on that 2008 0-16 team, Jared DeVry, Cedric Darby, Corey Redding, Dwayne White, Ryan Neese, Paris Leonard, Ernie Sims, Brian Kelly, Lee Baldwin, Daniel Bullocks, Calvin Pearson. I ain't want none of them back. Bye. Dwayne White was our top sack leader. Bye. Cliff Avery was on that team. Played in 4 games. Didn't want him back neither. I was that disgusted. Everybody got to go. You know who else was on that team? Dan Campbell, tight end. Bye. Garsters, Charterloos, bye. I wanted a different mindset. Dante Culpepper. Y'all forget we had him. So I'm just saying, Smitty, when I'm looking at this team, what I'm looking at is a team that I'm literally saying I need for you to establish an identity that we're going to run the ball, that we're going to play hard defense. That's what I'm asking you when I ask that question, because it's important. You know what I mean? So let's move it down to the next question. Smitty, give me your way too early Lions. Now I'm just here go the key word. Here go the key word, Smitty. Realistic. Okay, realistic. Give me your way too early realistic floor and ceiling for the Detroit Lions 2021 record. Win-loss totals. Give it to me. I want the ceiling on what you think they can be, and at best, and at worst, what's the floor? Now, if you say 0-16, that's not being realistic. Smitty, you still there? Did I lose you, Smitty?
I had this thing on mute. I say floor 6-10, ceiling 9-7.
Okay, so you got 9-7 as ceiling, 6-10 as the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I think I'm on that boat with you. I think realistically they could win 9 games, and I know a lot of people was questioning like where these 9 games gonna come from, or how do you come to the conclusion that they can win 9 games? And I know that 9 times out of 10 it sounds like I'm just talking out my ass and just making up stuff, but I'm really not. I really am looking at these games, and this is me doing it without me knowing when we play them. Now, when I find out when we play them, will I adjust my number? Probably will. But just based on opponents, I see 9 wins. I have no doubts that we'll beat the Falcons. Even though we barely beat them this past season, I think we'll beat them by virtue that if you just look at the track record with the Falcons, they're doing a lot of different things right now and got a lot of things going on, and they're going to be in the same boat as us. But I think the NFL, who is strategic in what they do, is going to make that an earlier game. So we'll get a win there. Let's just say we hypothetically split with the Bears, split with the Vikings, split with the Packers. That's 4 wins. I think we can beat the Browns. And I know a lot of people don't think that, but the Browns going to lose a lot of free agents. Okay? They're going to lose a lot of players. All right? And Baker Mayfield has been very inconsistent in his play, and especially when you shut down the run. So if we shut down the run, I believe you win that game. So let's just say we go 5. The 49ers lost their defensive coordinator. Okay? They're going to get some players back. But it ain't the same defensive coordinator. And I don't expect for them to be the same defense. Plus, they got a quarterback problem too. So guess what? I think we can beat the 49ers. We played them at home. Okay? We ain't got to travel to them. They come to us. Then we play the Cardinals. I think we beat them. So that's 1, 2. That's already 6 wins right there. I am not worried about the Bengals.
I'm getting really tired of playing the Cardinals, man.
Well, we better get a better record then. But I think this time we just play that division period, because we do, because we play the Seahawks and the Rams, and that's just the NFC West. So we just play that division this year. But the last times it was just based on record, and that's why you played them. But I'm saying, just look at the NFC West. We play the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. We can get 2. We can get 2 in a possible out of that 4. Right? But the Bengals don't scare me. They go 7. The Eagles don't scare me. They go 8. So where's my possibles? Seattle is a possible. I can see the Rams as a possible. Right? Because the one thing I know about McVay, he gonna try to showcase why he was smarter than the other guys, and when he made this trade, and he gonna make a mistake probably and have Stafford throwing the ball a lot there. So maybe we can capitalize on that. But I still see where we can get. We're at least at 8 in the possible. So it's not crazy to go, oh man, you gonna lost your mind. So I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it from a way that says we can do so much better, in my opinion. So I'm agreeing with you on that we can get that kind of record. Let me go to the next one, which is what is a fair expectation for fans with this upcoming season? Like, what's something that fans should just be like, look, this is what you should expect, and it's fair. Smitty, you there? Smitty. I don't know what's going on with Smitty, Mike. But let me just tell you what I think would be a fair expectation for the Lions fans this upcoming season. Whatever you think the Lions will be is a fair expectation. You think they're going to be garbage? That's fair. You think they're going to be good? That's fair. I'm not going to kill you in one way or another. The team has to still prove one of us to be right or wrong. But the best expectation that you can have is to be able to, one, make sure that you, one, are hitting on your expectations. If you expect us to be garbage and they garbage, you can't come in here and be like, man, the Lions is garbage. They met your expectations. I've never been one to get upset about something meeting my expectations, right? Like if you have children and you expect for your kids to bring A's home and they bring home all A's, you ain't gonna be mad. So my same thing is with the football. If I expect them to be a good team and they not, then I'm gonna be pissed. If I expect them to be a bad team and they are, I can't be pissed. They met expectations. I just don't see it. One Funk Lion fan says, yeah, the way the schedule works is we play two NFC teams that are in the same place as we. I see Smitty back. Smitty, you back. Your camera on. You want to be on camera?
Going off.
All right.
That was the last one.
All right. So give me 1 second to get my son really quick. Hold on. All right, Smitty, you back?
Yeah, connection issues.
All right, cool. So, Smitty, what are your expectations? I mean, what do you think is a fair expectation for Lions fans? Like, if you had to give them a fair expectation, what would it be?
Every game, because that's just not possible. We've been through that already.
So James draft a running back instead of a top offensive lineman to help him stay upright. Got you. What? What am I reading? What are y'all talking about? What am I missing? Lions receivers aren't good enough pre-draft, and free agents, of course, bolstering the running game helps the quarterback avoid sacks. I don't know if they have a debate here about, but I need to probably go back and read it again. But that's interesting. Go ahead, son. So, okay. All right. So, listen, I'm going to give y'all this your opportunity to ask us any questions y'all want to ask us. And then we'll go from there. So, any questions you have, go ahead and ask, and we'll get into it. Like I said, I see some good debates going on in the chat. Who's a better running back? I have argued with a few people that Devontae Smith is not better than Jamar Chase, but yet people want to keep telling me that he a better route runner, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
You're gonna have to make a video about that or something.
Man, I just don't feel like it. I got a long list of things I got to do. I'm trying to start a business. I mean, the energy, it's a lot of work that go into editing these videos, and I really do watch every single film. You know, some people are like, yeah, I watch film. They really watch like a highlight tape. I ain't watching no highlight tape. like I'm watching every snap. I want to see the games. You know, I'm going back looking at context. Like, okay, what down was this? What did he do here? What was he thinking? Stuff like that. It's a lot of work. So, it says I'm a big fan of taking a safety late in the draft. I think you need at least 3 good ones, and they're great special team players. I mean, it's a possibility. Luke James hollering, take Najee at 7.
Defense other than special teams.
Najee at 7. The running back out of Alabama at 7 over the offensive lineman.
I mean Jalen Reeves-Maben.
No, I'm talking about this one right here. This comment on the screen where it says Luke, that's James hollering, take Najee at 7. I'm not taking Najee at 7 because there's no point of you having an extra running back if you don't have linemen to block for him. Like, it doesn't matter. You got to have a line to block for him.
Our O-line don't seem that bad, but you're saying to take a O-lineman right now, lineman in this draft. The O-line doesn't seem that bad.
Well, we got 3. We got 3.
That's better than what a majority of what teams have, but
Melvin Drew said, "What's good, big dog? What's going on, bro?" It says, "Here go a question. Do you think it's more about the O-line or the running backs when it comes to a run game? I used to think it was all about the O-line, but Dion made a great video showing just getting a good running back. O-lines and running backs work hand to hand, right? So I'll give you a perfect example, right? Going by a car engine and don't put no oil in it. It's just that simple. Tell me what happens. Going by a car engine, don't put no oil in it. Going by some walkie-talkie, don't put a battery in it. They go hand to hand. They help each other. But do I think it's more so on the O-line than it is on the running back? Yes. Yes, I do. Because history has shown me that most of those times that those running backs who don't survive long is because they're having to now break 4 or 5 tackles before they even get a good head of steam. There was a stat. I'll never forget this stat because I thought it was so intriguing. That it blew my mind. When the Cowboys first drafted Ezekiel Elliott, he had 1,100 yards before he had contact. 1,100 yards before even getting contact. He was averaging 5 yards up the field before ever getting contact his first season. That's because of the offensive line. Now, does he play a part into that? Yeah, he got to have the vision to hit the right holes. Don't get it twisted. It's not a shot in the dark. But the O-line sets the tone on everything. It sets the tone on the quarterback's ability. It sets the tone on the running back ability. People forget we had Kevin Smith getting 1,000 yards rushing behind a crappy O-line. Nobody's going to argue that Kevin Smith is not night and day the greatest running back we ever had. So this idea of getting a better running back cures all. It's a bunch of BS. We tried that. We had the best running back with Barry Sanders. And you know what? Some of his best seasons came when they had better blocking. And so, yes, if you're asking me, can you get a buff the what if it's an electric car, Luke? Don't need oil. Electric cars use oil, bro. What are you talking about? Electric cars, I'm gonna leave it alone, bro. Electric cars still use oil, bro. You I don't know why you would think an electric car don't, but it do. But that's funny as hell. Oh my God. It says, come on, Luke. Kevin Smith had 1,000-yard one season. He did, but I'm trying to prove the point that nobody's going to tell me that he had 1,000 yards because he was such a good running back. No, he had some good blocks. That's what I'm pointing out to you. It was one season. I'm not telling you he's great. I'm telling you he had that season because there were some good blocks. It wasn't like he's out there just like, let me eat that tackle. Ooh, juke here. Ooh, stiff arm. I'm beast mode, baby. He wasn't doing that. Smitty, you agree with that too, right?
Yes, while I'm shaking my head, no.
I'm just saying. Like, let's be honest. And then when you go through and you look at the running back classes this year, why spend 1 on 7? The 7th, listen, let me tell you something. Running back is, if you're taking a running back 7th overall, he better be the second coming of somebody. I mean, somebody great. And if you're doing that, then you're going to have to now 100% commit to building that foundation up. So, Shay says, Will Harris has been underutilized in my opinion. It's funny because when he first came out, he was projected as being better as a linebacker. But But based on the film I watched, I just
So,
I'm not a fan.
Back to the O-line part. You said there were 3 O-linemen that we are good with, and I'm assuming one of them is Frank Ragnow.
You said what? We had Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, and Taylor Decker.
I didn't even expect Jonah Jackson to be that good. I thought he was just going to be a rotational piece for the line. But damn.
Yeah, no, he's solid. He's solid. I think a lot of teams would be happy to have him. He gave more than many people would expect. But he's solid. So let me see. Kevin Jones had the 1,000 yards, not Kevin Smith. Kevin Jones, thank you. 34. Damn, they both went on 34, didn't they? Kevin Jones is Virginia Tech. And then Kevin Smith was UCF, I believe it was. So yeah. But my point is, ain't nobody argue and say we had a damn good offensive line then. That's my point.
We had like an average offensive lineman that could get the job done, but it was like a far cry from elite.
Luke, what prospects you avoiding like the plague? Okay. All right. First up at quarterback is Newsom, whatever his name is, the guy who transferred from Wake Forest to Georgia, then sat out this year.
Oh, you mean that linebacker?
No,
he's pretty good.
He's a quarterback. That's Jamie Newsom or something like that. I'm staying away from him like the plague at quarterback. At running back, who am I staying away from like the plague? That was a little bit more challenging because I actually kind of like a lot of these running backs, and I really didn't look at enough that sucked in my opinion. So I can't say. Receiver, who would I stay away from like the plague at receiver? Man, that's a hard one. That's a hard one for me too, because it's a few of them. I don't know about that. Let me see. It's a few offensive linemen. It's always a bunch of offensive linemen that people hype up, and I'd be like, "What's the point?" Like the dude from Notre Dame. What is his damn name?
Ian Book.
He's a quarterback. The offensive lineman from Notre Dame. I'm trying to think of his damn name. God, it's gonna come to my mind. It'll come to me in a minute. But certain people I stay away from like the plague. Cornerbacks, I probably will stay away from. Who has somebody told me about that? And I looked at their film and said, hell no. Let me see. You know what? I gotta go back to my list. Oh, that's his name. Thank you. I will stay away from him like the plague. I just like at first I was feeling good about him, but the more film I watched, I was like, yo, you need to have people next to him. You need to have people next to him. If you ain't got people next to him, it's gonna get ugly. Oh my God. Some people sat out. It was just terrible. I think Waddles is a very good receiver. No joke. Luke, what's good, fam? Any safety prospects worth taking in the first 2 rounds? Richie Grant.
Patrick Surtain.
I would not take him in the first round. I wouldn't take Patrick Surtain in the first round. If you're taking Patrick Surtain, now keep in mind we're talking about the Lions. If you're taking Patrick Surtain in the first round, then you're telling me that the Lions are ready to roll. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Another safety that you can take in the first round. Let me see. It's quite a few. You got Holland, Gillespie. Gillespie does kind of a. Let me see who else. Other safeties. Let me see. I'm gonna say that dude because I gotta do a video. I'm gonna say that, but it's a few of them that I can think of. Any other questions before we bounce up out of here? I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. Tim,
I want to ask you a question, Luke.
Yes, sir.
I've been reading articles while researching other players that slowly personnel groups are starting to not take the combine seriously and starting to look at films specifically, especially with the 40-yard time. How does that make you feel?
Well, I think that report was basically saying that due to the COVID virus and due to people sitting out, that they and without them, they're already planning that there's not going to be a combine. They're going to look more heavily on the film. To me, you should have been doing that in the first place. The combine does not tell you who's a football player. The film does. How you use them. I think it was Glover Quin. Shout out to him and his channel, the DB Room. Who said that you look at these players and say how good they are, but never ask yourself, why are they so good and what system are they doing this good stuff in? And then you bring them here and try to make them do something different than what they were good at. So I think they should have been paying attention to the film all along, and they should have been bringing people in based on the film, because the film is going to tell you more times than not if they're a good player. Now, there are some outliers, right? There's some outliers in there where some people have had some really good years and people like, oh, look at this, look at the stats. But the film is the film don't lie, man. Like the camera don't lie. I'll never forget this. I went to one of my friends, what they call those parties? Bachelor parties, right? And I went to the bachelor party with him, and we took all these photos, right? Like we had, we did a prototypical guys' day out bachelor party style thing, right? Took all these photos, right? And I'm looking at every photo that we had took with him, and then his wife wanted to do a joint party, and we took all these photos. And I'm looking at the photos of him with the joint party, and the party was just the fellas. And the party with the fellas, he had teeth from ear to ear. That's how much he was smiling. The teeth literally went all the way up to his goddamn ears. And in the joint one, he's by this girl, and he has the most stone face. It's all neutral. It's no smiles. And I asked him, man, what's up? Oh, nothing, man. Nothing. And then I found out later, the reason he was marrying the girl because she put pressure on him. So to me, the same way the camera don't lie, the film don't lie. And when I go through and I look at the film, it tells me what I need to know. It's a reason why people hate being recorded. You can't lie against the tape. And so to me, they should have been doing that in the beginning. That's how I see it. All right. Luke, I thought T's Tabar film was good in college. T's Tabar film was solid enough for you to look at T. Tabar and say he could be a good player. The one characteristic about him that stood out the most was he was not afraid to tackle, but T. Tabar should have been a safety. And in his film, he did not look that slow, but for some reason here they kept asking him to do more press coverage, whereas in his film he wasn't asked to do a lot of that press coverage. So that's why you see the difference in the film, but the film don't lie. The film does not lie. Tavai was good too. I don't think Tavai is bad yet. I think with Tavai and his film, they played to his strengths. And one of the reasons I saw why they took him was because, one, he had versatility, which is something that they was pushing heavily. They wanted people who can be versatile, and he is. He had that down pat. The problem is what happens when you're now asking him to go outside of his wheelhouse, and that's where it gets ugly. Let me see. If you're a GM and you don't look at film, you shouldn't have the job. I would think you wouldn't either. Luke, thoughts on OSA Asa Odigwuzi, number 42 D-line from UCLA. 42 D-line from UCLA. I gotta go and look at the film on him, bro. He's not ringing a bell right now. I gotta go and look at the film, and I'll let you know next time. Should we avoid Parsons like the plague? No. I think Parsons is going to be a good player, but if you don't like Jared Davis, then you definitely ain't going to like him. Because I think if you put him in a 4-3, he's going to be Jared Davis. He's going to be better suited in the 3-4 as a rush outside linebacker. Just my opinion. Let me see. Tavai had an okay rookie season. They had him in bad positions this year, and he barely played. Yep, he barely played. That's the truth there. Smitty, what are your final thoughts for the people, man?
Don't be stupid.
That was your final thought. That was your final thoughts, bro.
Yeah, it's our fan base. You can't be too sure.
I was expecting something a little bit more a little bit more telling. I mean, I wasn't expecting that drop the mic moment. Y'all gotta excuse me. I was really expecting him to say something. He just came out straight, simple. Don't be stupid. Like what? Where we going with this, man? Jesus. Okay, dude. Yeah, you had me. Wow. Okay. Damn. He threw me off with that. I'm like, wait a minute. What? That was it. That was the grand advice right there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, you know me, man. I like to end the show on a positive note. I believe it is the best way to do things. Okay. Obviously, I got some stuff planned for this week. Just really quick, can y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all want me to do another live film session or just make the video? Y'all let me know really quick. Give me a thumbs up. If you can't give me a thumbs up, give me a Go Lions or something. I just need something to let me know what y'all want me to do. So I can kind of figure out how I'm going to do this video. Live. Okay, 1. Let me see. Y'all give me something. Live is always cool. Okay. So I know I did Andre Cisco's live, and I had a lot of people like, man, but what was that play right? Yeah, it get ugly when it get ugly. When they get ugly, it get ugly. So just want to see. All right. So I guess it's live. I'm going to do it live then. I'm seeing a lot more of those. Okay. All right. Well, let's get it popping then. All right, good people. So I wanted to try to figure out a way to end the show on a positive note. And so originally I was going to do a quote from Paul Lawrence Dunbar. That was who I was really going to do a quote from. And this morning I talked to my granddad. And my granddad said something to me that kind of caught me off guard. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use that as a positive quote. And what my grandfather said to me is he said, you know, sometimes, grandson, you're going to have to shit or get off the toilet. And I said, but granddad, I understand what you're saying, but that ain't got nothing to do with my problem that I'm talking to you about. And the thing that he said afterwards that blew my mind was, it is often times that the thing that you think is the answer for your problem is generally nothing more than a added on problem itself, which means shit or get out the toilet. So what my grandfather was telling me was, stop trying to find answers in your problems and get movement. See, when you're searching for answers with your problems, you're stuck. You're stuck in a rat race. You're stuck on the wheel. You're constantly repeating the same steps over and over because you're so busy trying to find the answer. Maybe instead of you trying to find the answer, you just need to keep moving so the answer can somehow find you. Put yourself in the position to be around the answer. See, when you there and you're not being willing to take that poop, you just want to sit on that pot waiting for the answer to come to you, then you're just going to be waiting with a sore ass. My grandfather's point to me was to be clear. Move, son. Get it going. Get things done. Because when you're moving, more things happen. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I am going to be going live tomorrow. I got some things I got to cover tomorrow that I want to jump on. So hopefully you join me tomorrow. And as always, hopefully we might be able to get a show in for the roundtable on Tuesday. I know most of my members have been really busy with life adjustments with this damn pandemic. But as always, people, don't be no chump. Please do your research.